This was to prove that I did place the order down here, caught it within a couple of points, spookily accurate, all the reasons I explained before. And then this is the silver trade I was telling you about, but the analysis is the same.
All right, folks, we've got Mark Walton back in the house. We've just done an awesome podcast. If you want to go and check it out, there'll be a link below this video. But before you do, he's just about to break down his full-on trading strategy that gets him in trades pretty much every week. It's really low touch, isn't it? A low touch strategy. So if you've got a day job, that kind of thing, this is probably going to be perfect for you. Welcome back to the show, Mark.
Thank you very much.
Folks, this is my 100k Blue Guardian Challenge update. So you can see here, I'm 0.7% up for the week. Had some luck. I had some unlucky things. We're going to dive into those right now. So to start off with a bit of luck here. So I had a 1 hour loss to start the week. This didn't copy across to the Blue Guardian account, which is awesome. So I missed that losing trade. But then this happened. The next trade turned out to be a 3-hour winner, and that copied across to the Blue Guardian, but there was a delay in the exit, I think because of the news, and it ended up looking like this. So you can see here, I got out of the trade way too late and only took 0.8 of an R. Then to finish the week off, I actually had a losing trade, which my bot got me out of immediately. Now, this was a complete mistake. I should have actually taken the full loss. So had it all played out, I would have ended up with 2 1-hour losses and a 3-hour win. So kind of 1 hour, which is almost what I ended up with. Now, if you want to take your own Blue Guardian Challenge, there is a link in the description and coupon code TradingNut, all one word. It's going to get you 10% off at checkout. Stay tuned for next week's update, but for now, let's get back to the show.
Okay, so I'm just going to whiz through what I do on a weekend stroke, what I do on a morning. So I start off looking at the dollar index, and I am looking for whether price is going up, sideways, or down. And if it's going down, I am looking to sell the dollar. And I am then looking for multiple reasons to think that if the dollar was to shoot back up again, where would it probably react? Now, I don't trade this per se, but this gives me a roadmap for the pound, for the euro, for the dollar against the Swissy, the CAD, etc. And this is what I talked about in the podcast about Confluence. So I've fibbed the most recent move down because we're in a downtrend. My biggest fib area is 78.6 fib. And so for me, until or unless this breaks, we are still in a downtrend. This happens to be also the weekly 55 EMA, which I put in here as well. So for Confluence, for the dollar, I have got the trend line. I've got the 55 and the 200 rolling over here on a daily. And if they cross, that's very bearish. We're below the 55 EMA, trend line, fib, all going on in the same place. So this is the pattern that I look for in general. I then look at gold. I look to see where the big money is. This was a pullback the other week. I called on gold. I'll show you an MT4 in a minute. When price was up here after a multiple top that we spoke about in the podcast, price rejected. This spike was to do with an incident in the Gulf, to do with Iraq and the UK and the USA. But I said to folks, I would be a buyer of gold again at 2000 previous major support and resistance, 55 EMA, 78.6 fib in an uptrend with a trend line on here as well. I think I had the trend line there initially, and then the trend line I think I had in here. Anyway, that was pre-planned in advance. Same for silver. When silver was up here, I said I would be a buyer again at silver at 23. 78.6 fib, came back, touched it, sat on it, promptly moved away. That's up 10%. Bitcoin at the moment, if I wasn't in Bitcoin already and I was thinking of buying on a pullback, the first area I would be thinking of is here around 37.70. Not financial advice. This is just for educational purposes, obviously. This was the one I told you about, MicroStrategy. They own 158,000 Bitcoin. What did it do? Broke a trend line. It broke the 200 EMA, it broke the 55, broke the weekly 200 and the weekly 55. Initially, I had the fib down, it was in here. Didn't pull back, but there was a delay between Bitcoin setting off and MicroStrategy. This was a no-brainer. I said to folks in the live training session, when price was in here, I would be buying it and explain why. Went up 30-odd%. I had 5-time leverage, made 150% in 2.5 weeks, and it is currently up 67% in 6 weeks. Another one Bitcoin related is Riot. If I wasn't in this at the minute, I would be looking for a pullback to 50% fib. The weekly 200 EMA, previous major support and resistance in an uptrend. Put a trend line in here as well. Confluence there. And certainly I would be a buyer again down here at 1150. So that's what I do on lots of different indices, on stocks, on crypto, on FX. This is that dollar index again I just shown you. Look again, that's clearly, even without the fib, Confluence there. This is the gold. So I don't trade gold. I buy the physical metal and I buy miners. But this was to prove that I did place the order down here, caught it within a couple of points, spookily accurate, all the reasons I explained before. And that is currently 70 odd dollars. And then this is the silver trade I was telling you about. Again, I don't trade it with leverage because it's too scary, but the analysis is the same. Pullback after a breakout, clear breakout of a trend line, multiple EMAs, Fibonacci in an uptrend. And fundamentally, I believe that gold and silver are going to go on a run because I think that the stock market is way overvalued. Euro USD, I had a good trade on this last week. And from last week, we were looking initially up a short at 110. Because 110 previously, when we had the big drop the year before, 110, whole number, decimal 10. I also had the weekly 200 EMA up above it. I took this last week. I had one order with a small stop and the other order with a 70 odd pip stop. And my overall target was down here. I also have an order this week to buy down here. Why? Because multiple reasons. 200 EMA, 55 EMA, 50% fib, trend line in an uptrend. That will be the place to buy. This would not be the place to buy because you're right in the face of major previous support and resistance and a weekly 200 EMA.
Hey folks, what a view behind me. I'm at BLACKBULL Markets headquarters here in Auckland, New Zealand. Speaking of views, you can get TradingView paid plans for free at BLACKBULL Markets, saving you up to $600 a year. That's right, get either the Essential, Plus or Premium plans absolutely free, and all you need to do is trade from one lot a month at BLACKBULL Markets. And you can also get a 100% deposit bonus for your first deposit up to $1,000. All you need to do is click the Trading Nut link in the description below. I think that's going to be enough to give people a very good idea of the confluences you're using and how to use them to get into positions. Look, before you wrap up, what's the best way for traders to get hold of you?
ForexMentorPro.com or our YouTube channel, which is under my name, Mark with a C, Mark Walton.
Well, look, a big thank you to Mark for sharing with us today. There is going to be a link underneath this video. Go and click it. You're going to get his podcast and everything that we talked about there, get his full story. Whilst you're down there, hit subscribe, like, and that notifications bell, and we'll see you in the next video.